It's Miss Fritzel at the Appleton West Library, and I'm book talking a high or epic fantasy series by Victoria Aveyard, who is the author of the Red Queen series, which is a sci-fi dystopian. It starts out seeming fantasy, but we learn it's sci-fi dystopian as we go along. This is definitely, like I said, fantasy. No sci-fi dystopian at all. So first book is Realmbreaker, and then we have Blade Breaker, and then we have Fate Breaker. So Fate Breaker just was released, which means the trilogy was complete. It's very long. So I'm going to take the one book here because it's too hard to hold all those books. This has got a lot of parallels with something like Lord of the Rings. So if you are into high fantasy like that, this is it. A lot of character development, a lot of world building. And so that's one of the things that makes it longer. It's very typical good versus evil, set in this medieval type of world where there's monsters and magic. Not everybody has like magical abilities, but we have different beings, one being the elders or the Videra. Okay, I can remember that. And there's how this is all working is that there's these two special blades. They're called spindle blades, and spindles are doorways into other realms. And so a spindle blade and somebody of this spindle blood can open or close a doorway. But the problem is that they open too many doorways. There's this evil entity that is waiting to get out, and he will destroy the realm or the world in which they are currently living. So we end up with, we have an evil character who is opening spindles, and then we have another character, a young female character, who turns out she does not know that she's of spindle blood. But she is found by an elder or a Videra who convinces her this is what she needs to go, and here's the blade, especially a spindle blade that was your father's, and you need to go help save the realm. And we end up with 7 questers. Now, when I say, like, as I was reading this, like going, they started out with 7 questers in Lord of the Rings. It's kind of a very high fantasy type of thing to have 7 questers. So Coraine is the young girl. Dom, has got a much longer name, is the elder or a Videra. So they are immortal. They're a lot like the elves in Lord of the Rings. Very hard to kill, extreme senses, things like that. But then there's a young knight, Andri. There's a disgraced assassin, there is a bounty hunter, there's a forger, trying to think, and there's a bone witch. So those make up the 7 questers, but then we also have our evil characters of Terrastan and the queen of one of the realms, Galandria, Irida. And we get multiple points of view. We don't get the points of view of everybody, so we get the points of view about 5 people, 5 of the questers, and we get the points of view of definitely Irida. Let me see. So we have Kraken monsters, which are like sea monsters. We have Walking Dead corpse monsters, so kind of like a zombie army. There's dragons, things like that. So this is at the time of this. Is trending on Goodreads too, but it's trending on TikTok. This is not going to be a fantasy for everyone, partly because it's so long. It's very long. I will be the first to say I felt like, it could have been a little shorter. However, like, if you're really into world building and you're really into character development, I'm not sure where she could have cut much out of this. This is not, while there is romance in this is not a romantic fantasy. This is an epic quest fantasy of good versus evil to stop the end of the world. So, if this type of fantasy is your cup of tea, I highly recommend this book. If not, I can recommend a lot of other books. So, have a fantastic day and keep on reading.